Last Thanksgiving, I tried quartering a chicken with a supposedly heavy-duty cleaver. Instead of a clean cut, the blade chipped, ruining the meat and my pride. Finding a real meat cleaver is a nightmare. Most are flimsy, overhyped sheets of metal that cannot handle bone, leaving you with mangled ingredients. You need a blade that does the heavy lifting for you. I bought and tested the top 5 meat cleavers on the market to see which ones actually perform. Stick around, because the number 1 spot is a game changer that completely redefined my kitchen prep. 5. Kvlniqs 7-inch butcher knife meat cleaver. When you first unbox this knife, it definitely catches your eye with a rugged, rustic aesthetic that looks great hanging in any modern or farmhouse-style kitchen. The wooden handle has a nice, traditional finish, and the blade features a hammered texture that is designed to prevent food from sticking to the metal while you chop. Visually, it promises the raw, unfiltered chopping power of a classic butcher's tool, making a very strong first impression right out of the packaging. Taking it to the cutting board, I started with basic, lighter tasks to get a feel for its balance and geometry. It handles soft vegetables like zucchini and bell peppers reasonably well, and it glides through boneless chicken breasts with relative ease. The blade is reasonably sharp from the factory, and for a casual home cook who just wants something that looks cool while doing everyday slicing, it might initially seem like a decent pickup. However, things took a frustrating turn when I put it through the heavy-duty tests it is marketed for. When I brought the blade down on a standard pork rib, it did not bite through cleanly. Instead, it bounced off a bone, requiring me to use significantly more arm strength than I should ever need with a cleaver. The blade simply feels too lightweight to generate the necessary momentum, forcing you to hack at your food rather than chopping it smoothly. Worse yet, after just one session of dealing with joints and cartilage, the steel edge began to show visible signs of micro-rolling and dulling, completely compromising its performance. Ultimately, the Kvlniqs 7-inch cleaver is a prime example of form over function. 4. Uibkor 7-inch meat cleaver knife. Right out of the gate, this cleaver promises professional, restaurant-level performance equipped with an ergonomic design meant to reduce hand fatigue. The weight distribution is immediately a noticeable step up from the Kvlniqs. It carries a bit more mass in the blade, which gives you the impression that it means business. The sleek, modern design also looks incredibly professional, giving the vibe of a tool you would find in a high-end commercial kitchen. During my initial testing phases, I threw some thick cuts of beef and dense root vegetables its way. It managed to slice through tough winter squash and heavy yams with a very satisfying downward momentum. The factory edge is impressively sharp, biting into the skin of tomatoes without tearing, and effortlessly slicing through thick steaks. For the first few days of testing, it genuinely felt like a solid, capable upgrade that could handle a bustling kitchen environment. Unfortunately, extended use revealed some glaring structural flaws that I simply cannot overlook. The manufacturer highly praises the ergonomic handle, but in practice, the material becomes incredibly slick the moment your hands get even slightly wet or greasy from rendering fats. This is a massive safety hazard when you're repeatedly swinging a heavy blade with force. Furthermore, the blade's geometry feels oddly clunky during heavy impact. Instead of delivering a fluid, clean chop, the thick edge tends to wedge itself deeply into thicker bones, failing to snap completely through the joint. Because of this wedging issue, I found myself dangerously prying the blade out of a turkey carcass multiple times, which slows down prep and ruins the presentation of the meat. 3. Utopia Kitchen 7-inch cleaver knife. Utopia Kitchen is widely recognized for producing highly functional, no-nonsense culinary tools, and this cleaver stands as a prime example of their practical approach. It skips the flashy gimmicks and focuses entirely on solid, unyielding construction, crafted from a single, continuous piece of robust stainless steel that promises exceptional longevity. When I first gripped this cleaver, the weight distribution immediately stood out as vastly superior to the previous 2 models on our list. It possesses a reassuring heft that makes you feel entirely in control, yet it is intelligently balanced so that your wrist does not ache after breaking down a large bird or chopping through a mountain of produce. The handle is securely riveted and contoured to lock into your palm, providing a remarkably stable and confident grip even when things get incredibly messy on the cutting board. I put this blade through a rigorous gauntlet consisting of dense cartilage, tough poultry joints, and fibrous, heavy vegetables. The performance is incredibly satisfying. The blade drops with a commanding, authoritative force, allowing its own gravity to do the brutal work so your arm doesn't have to. You can easily smash whole cloves of garlic with the broad side of the blade, and it scoops up large volumes of diced onions for easy transfer to the pan, truly living up to its multi-purpose designation. While it might lack the ornate, decorative aesthetics of some higher-end knives, it completely makes up for it in sheer, consistent, and unyielding performance. The high-quality stainless steel resists rust brilliantly even when left slightly damp on the counter, and it takes very little effort to hone it back to a razor-sharp edge after weeks of use. 2. ENOKING 7.5 Cleaver Knife. At half an inch longer than the standard size, we usually see that extra blade length and added mass completely transform how you approach heavy-duty food preparation. It is designed for those who need maximum leverage and reach, making short work of massive primal cuts of meat that standard knives struggle to navigate. From the moment I unwrapped the ENOKING, the build quality screamed premium craftsmanship. The blade sports a stunning, polished finish and a formidable thickness at the spine, which gradually tapers down to a wickedly sharp, precision edge. The handle is beautifully constructed and contoured, resting naturally in the hand and providing an incredibly secure, comfortable grip that totally eliminates hand fatigue, even during marathon meal prep sessions. In my kitchen tests, this cleaver effortlessly obliterated everything I threw at it. I use it to tackle massive racks of beef ribs and thick, stubborn cuts of pork shoulder, and it glided through both meat and bone with terrifying ease. The added weight of the 7.5-inch blade means you simply lift it and guide it downward. Gravity and the insanely sharp edge take care of the rest, delivering impeccably clean, precise cuts every single time without any bone splintering or meat tearing. Maintenance has also been an absolute dream with the ENOKING. Despite the severe punishment, I put it through over weeks of intensive cooking and chopping. The edge retention is nothing short of phenomenal, barely requiring a touch-up on the honing rod. It is a robust, professional-grade chopper that will instantly elevate your home butchering game, making it a near-perfect, highly durable addition to any serious home chef's culinary arsenal. 1. HOSHANHO Cleaver Knife 7-inch. If you want a knife that feels like a natural, weightless extension of your own arm while wielding the destructive power of a professional butcher's axe, this is the exact blade you have been searching for. It flawlessly combines elegance with raw, unbridled cutting power. The craftsmanship on the HOSHANHO is simply breathtaking to behold. It features an exquisitely forged blade that strikes the absolute perfect, elusive balance between brutal bone chopping power and delicate, paper-thin slicing precision. The handle design is a masterclass in ergonomics, constructed with premium, highly durable materials that provide an unshakable, non-slip grip, ensuring total control and safety even when you are dealing with the wettest, greasiest meats imaginable. When I put this ultimate tool to the test, the results were entirely staggering. Not only did it effortlessly smash through the thickest beef bones and completely dismantle whole chickens in mere seconds, but it seamlessly transitioned to mincing delicate herbs and finely dicing tomatoes without crushing them. The center of gravity is dialed in with such surgical precision that the knife feels incredibly nimble during rapid, repetitive motions, yet it delivers devastating, concentrated force right at the point of impact when you need it most. I have tested countless kitchen knives over the years, but the HOSHANHO stands firmly in a league entirely of its own. It holds a screaming sharp edge through the most brutal abuse, cleans up flawlessly with a simple wipe, and looks like a piece of high-end culinary art sitting on your magnetic strip. It solves every single problem you could ever have with a heavy-duty kitchen knife, cementing its rightful place as the greatest meat cleaver you can buy right now. Outro. That's all for today.